Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 4 more playoff games here on Tuesday night in the NBA. I'm going to be running through the first one in this episode, Indy and Milwaukee. Indy looking to take this thing in 5 games back at home now. We know Dame is out for the foreseeable future with that torn Achilles. Definitely make sure to subscribe to that page, though. Got episodes up for the next 2 games on the night, the other 2 Eastern Conference games. And then for LA and Denver, we're going to be getting to that game in the live show on Tuesday, about 3 p.m. Eastern. For those of y'all who are looking to join, jump in the comments, bring your bets. We'll go over all that stuff together. I'm going to run through how we did on Sunday here. Had an episode up for you guys yesterday for today's games. So I want to run through the nice little day we had on Sunday. Just 4 bets, but made more than 2 units. So we'll go through all of that. If that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Just 4 bets on Sunday. Was definitely preoccupied over the course of the last 4 or 5 days with moving into a new house. That didn't work out so great, but we're getting on track here. And we're finally able to get back to everyday videos here for you guys. Up 5.2 units now. Definitely lost a few over the course of Friday and Saturday, like I said, but still up in the positive. Feeling good about the way we're betting these playoffs. Now on the season, up nearly 40 units and a 3-1 record there on Sunday to get 2.4 back. First bet was Paolo Banchero, 30+ points there. Not totally sure if we can totally rely on that on an elimination game here for them moving forward into this next one against Boston. But Paolo took 32 shots in this game. So if he's going to have that kind of volume, we're probably going to feel good about 30 points. Tatum, we took on a little parlay because the threes were too low. So I wanted to play the threes at like -140, but just parlayed them with the 25.5 points because also thought those were too low. And now kind of wish I would have taken the 30+ as he went off and nuclear once again. Definitely going to be talking about him in that episode as well. And then Nehard loved the under rebounds because he's guarding Dame. He didn't end up guarding Dame because Dame left after like 6 minutes in the first quarter, but he still got the under 4.5 and 10+ points. That's just a nice little like easy parlay when we think about it. He doesn't get 5 rebounds almost ever, and 10+ points is something he's done with ease throughout the playoffs since last season. Plus 108 because of the negative correlation between those 2 bets. So felt great about it. And then I did think Dame was going to come back and have a bounce back at least from 3, get 3 3-pointers. He played 6 minutes. For those of y'all who did bet on Dame, hopefully you did get that bonus bet there. It was like a 100% bonus match on the bets from at least from DraftKings, which is where we did bet this yesterday. So like I said, up 5.2 in the playoffs, 39.7 here on the season now. So let's keep it going and get into what I've got for the first game on Tuesday night. As we jump into the matchup notes here for this game 5, dude, want to let you guys know too, if you want to jump into the VIP, I'm giving you an opportunity to do that for a free month. I have a bunch of sports books scrolling beneath me. They're all listed in the description of the video. If you sign up to any of those books that I'm partnered with, use code LYB and then just send me a screenshot showing me that you signed up for the book. I'm available at JLBoogie on Twitter or Discord. Happy to get you guys a free month in the VIP for getting in on one of those sports books with me. Game 5 notes, though, we just got to wonder, is the Bucks huddle going to be screaming 1, 2, 3 Cancun when they get out, when they sort of come back to play, right? Dame is out now with that torn Achilles. I would imagine that means KPJ starting, but I don't think we really gave Milwaukee a shot in this series. If Dame did come back, even if he did when he was coming back from the other issue, the blood clot, did we really think he was going to have the stamina? This often happens. You get hurt. One thing leads to another. You don't have the conditioning and continue to play. Then you're out for a while. We'll see what this means for Dame and the NBA landscape moving forward. But I do think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be the starter in this one. He played too well in the last one. They'd have no other answer for playmaking and primary ball handling. This is the dude. So he's got to be up there for another mid-30s in terms of the minutes, which means he should be starting. Gary Trent also going to continue to start for Taurean Prince. Even though he didn't play that well last game, he definitely is going to be a better option than Prince, especially to guard Halliburton. That's been made clear at this point. Bobby Portis keeps getting 32+ minutes because Brolo keeps getting 16 at the most. So we have to keep an eye on that stuff. And if you're looking for Brolo overs, I would recommend highly against it. I don't even know if he's going to get 10 minutes in this game, because I don't think it's going to be a very close game, if we're being honest. Indy, here's a big reason why they're winning this series. Their offense is way better. And you know that because they're at 31.5 assists per game. That's 6 more than the team with the second most in the playoffs right now at about 25.5 per game in terms of the dimes there. They're moving the ball really well. They have a 10-man rotation. They play way better defense than the Bucks. And I think a lot of your bets should be, sort of skewed towards the Pacers winning this game by double digits. Looking at this offense for Indy, the only thing we really need to know is about the defense for the Bucks. We are going to have Gary Trent on Halliburton and continuing to get those mid-30s minutes. KPJ, also expect that from him. He and Nehard will be matched up against each other the same way that Dame and Nehard were. And then everything else is the same here except for, Lopez. Is he going to play very much? No, right? Like maybe 15 minutes again. So it'll more likely be Bobby Portis on Turner. Giannis and Siakam stay guarding each other. And then I imagine Kuzma will be coming out out as well. We're not going to see quite as much as of him. Maybe he gets to 25 minutes, but he hasn't reached 25 but once in this series. And that's how I would feel that is going to be the case here again in Game 5. Same matchups here on the other side, but you can see I have the asterisk for Lopez on offense here because I do think that'll be Bobby Portis coming into that role, playing that 5 for them. And then the same thing here for Kyle Kuzma. I do think Nesmith will stay on whoever comes in for him, but that'll more likely be a 3-point shooter like an AJ Green, maybe some Pat Connaughton. I mean, they're running out of options here. It's another reason I really don't like the Bucks to win this one. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show. #1 sports betting research tool for all things hoops and props. Definitely make sure to use code LYB if you sign up. You can use that to get 7 free days before you have to pay anything. Check it out. See if you like it. Play around with all these filters that you have here. Save yourself some time by using this platform. And then it will also get you 25% off on your first month if you are interested in using that for all your sports betting research stuff. Let's get into what I've got here for the first bet. And I'm moving right past some of these Pacers players. I'm just going right to an under that I'm going to like here. That is Kyle Kuzma. I've got him on the PRA. He's at 14.5 right now. One thing I would show you is it's -130, -125 in some places. I don't know that we can bank on this going to 15.5, but there's a possibility that some people see this as low and he's going to get a few more minutes, so they take over on the 14.5 PRA. But the key here is the minutes, right? If we look at him in the playoffs now, he's played 4 games, 22, 31, 21, and 16 minutes. The 16 minutes in the last game were partly because of the blowout. I think it's going to be a similar situation. I think he's not going to see 25 in this one again. We're probably looking at 20. And if we put him at about 20 minutes on the season, let's say he plays like 18 to 22, it's not going to be a very good hit rate, right? We know that this is not enough time for Kyle Kuzma to do his thing. He's at about 12.4 PRA on the season in this time frame, over in just 2 of 7. And granted, like most of the time that he's playing this amount of minutes, it's normally because he was on the Wizards and they were getting blown out and he didn't have to play, right? But even on this team, I mean, if we give him like 20, let's get him up to about 24, right? And look at what he's done here. He's at about 15.6, but when you look at him with the Bucks, right, and we make this with Giannis, smaller sample size, but again, I mean, if he's not getting 30 minutes and he's playing with Giannis, he's clearly shown he does nothing in this situation. The rebounds are a really big part of all this. He did have 10 rebound chances here in this game. This was like game 3, where he had 21 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 dimes, right? Still didn't get there, but the 10 rebound chances were out of whack for him. Like normally he's at about 4, maybe 5 rebound chances against this Pacers team based on the fact that he's just not involved in anything going on down low. He's playing above the break, playing way out far from the basket. And then as far as the assists go, if you want to add those, that's a money bet, right? Like 105, 1.5 assists for him when he's at about 3 potentials, 2 potentials, 1 potential, 2, right? Like against the Pacers, he's not getting more than 2, 3 potential assists at the most. Definitely don't like him to get 2 on 3 potentials or 2 for that matter. So love to just add it all together and go under on the PRA for Kuzma. And we'll see what this number is at here in the morning on Tuesday. Going with one more Bucks player here, let's just bring up Giannis for a minute, because Giannis, obviously, what we talk about with him, he can get whatever he wants against this Pacers team. They're going to have to double him, triple him in order to get him to not score 40 points, I would imagine, in this game. I don't see him just mailing it in, right? Like most teams, like the Heat, for instance, did tonight on Monday night. I think Giannis keeps this, at least himself, afloat in this game. So my thing here with him is if you look at his numbers, and this is a slightly different site that I'm using, but if you look at his per 36 numbers, when he's playing without the Dame Lillard, he's playing without, Chris Middleton. I don't think Brolo is going to be on the floor very much. You take all these guys, and Taurean Prince the same. Take all these guys off the floor, put them on court with like Bobby Portis, Gary Trent, and whomever you want at that point. He's averaging a triple-double per 36 minutes, right? Because he's at about 10.5 assists, 13.5 rebounds, and 29 points per 36 minutes when he's playing with this sort of combination of guys that we're going to see in the lineups with him on Tuesday night. So just take the triple-double. I mean, I would just take the triple-double for Giannis and just call it a day. It's like plus 480. You sprinkle a little quarter of a unit on it, see if you make a full unit back. But I'm not really interested in playing Giannis's everything, because if this game turns into a blowout, then I don't want to have a full unit on him to go over his PRA or any of these really high numbers that we're going to see. I just want to take him to get 10 in each of these categories, which really comes down to the assists, right? Do I think he can get 10 plus assists? Because death, taxes, and 10 points and rebounds each for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So let's see if he can get the triple-double, but just play the high upside for lower units. That's how I would be doing it. I wouldn't really be messing with putting my full unit stakes on bets like single core line bets. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going right back to our guy, Andrew Nehard. He's still at 11.5 points, which makes no sense to me because if you look at him in the playoffs in this season, over in 3 of 4, had the one bad game there where they lost by 16. He saw 30 minutes, which is slightly on the lower end for him in the playoffs, especially because he's their best on-ball defender, right? And so that he's been getting a lot of minutes to guard Dame. But even in the game without Dame, he played 30 only because they got blown out. But he's still going to be the guy they rely upon as that sort of best wing defender. Not sort of, he is their best on-ball guard defender. So he'll have the KPJ role. KPJ is going to be out there for a solid 33, 36 minutes in that range. And Nembhard will be out there, not specifically to guard him, but that'll be his matchup, and he'll mirror those minutes at the very least. If you look at last year's playoffs too, it's the same thing, man. All these games are with Halliburton. They're all with Pascal Siakam as well, the top 2 scorers for this team. And he's still at 15 points per game in last year's playoffs and 15 points per game in this year's playoffs. So I'm going to take him again at 11.5. And I think every time we do, we might as well just sprinkle on the 15 plus for him, which is going to be probably about plus 150, plus 160. Just keep going with Nembhard, who also kind of gets minutes in some blowout situations. He was the point guard that they kept on the floor yesterday, just to make sure that even though they were up by about 15, it was yesterday, 15 or so in that game, they still just wanted to make sure that they had a guard out there they trusted. So he even got a few more minutes during the blowout. While we're on Nembhard, I also wanted to bring up something about his rebounds, and the same for Tyrese Halliburton. And I talked about that here a little bit when I was going through the bets, where you saw me take this for Nembhard on the last game they played. Loved under on his rebounds and took over on the points. Combine them together, get a nice plus money hit for the fact that they're negatively correlated, right? But now the thing is, the rebounds were based on him guarding Dame, and he's not guarding Dame. And KPJ is a much different player than Dame Lillard. He's not hoisting 32, 35-foot three-point shots, right? He'll take some threes, but for the most part, he's going to also be going into the lane, getting into the mid-range shot, and that's going to be something he's doing a lot more. So Nembhard's probably going to be in a better position for rebounds in this game than he normally is when he plays against this team, right? If you look at him head-to-head, this year only had 4 rebounds once. Last year in the playoffs, did it a bit more, but that's because Dame wasn't playing in a number of these games, right? But when you look at him not last year in the playoffs versus this team, earlier in the season, right, even when he was getting a few more minutes, he still had like 0 rebound chances. So this is not the same situation for him. And the same goes for Halliburton, although it's slightly the inverse. Halliburton head-to-head loves boarding up against this team. And I'm not going to be fading him on the boards, but I'm not as likely to go right back to it because, again, now that Nembhard is not out of position and now that Dame isn't taking 22 shots, right, that's a big reason why Nembhard was out of position and Tyrese was in position because he's guarding Taurean Prince, or, the other Gary Trent. For whatever reason, I couldn't remember his name. Those are the guys that he's guarding, and they're off ball, which allows him to sort of sag off and then go craft the boards. And the Bucks give up a ton of long rebounds, so Tyrese is often in position right around the foul line to get those, right? Because they do take a good amount of threes. So I would just be careful. Whereas this has been a great over for Tyrese against this team historically, not as good anymore. Same concept here for Andrew Nembhard. While this has historically been a great under for him against the Bucks here, not quite the same situation in Game 5. Last guy I want to go through is AJ Green. We're getting really nice plus money for him to hit 3 threes. And now that we have no Dame, granted, like I can't guarantee you he's going to get 30 minutes. I don't think he is at all. But I think he's in the 24 to 28 minute range. So that's what I have filtered here. And you can see he's at about 2.5 per game in this situation. Actually, a few more. 2.6 per game, over in more than half the games. We're getting big plus money for this. I just think this team is going to be too starving for 3-point shooting. When you take Dame out and you add KPJ, you've just reduced your 3-point shooting by a ton. And that's why I really liked AJ Green in this last game. Just didn't have time to see how many minutes I could project him for. But in this one, I would project him for, again, mid to high 20s with the need for threes. He's been hot in this series. Hit 5 for 11. Then he hit, let me make sure I have this on the right amount of games here. In this series, yeah, he hit 5 for 11. Then he hit the 4 for 8 and 3 for 5. But I mean, 5, 8, and 11 3-point attempts tells you like he is sort of their desperation player coming off the bench. There's a small chance that he starts. I don't think so. I think he's still good for 26 and 28 coming off the bench. And if you're giving me the plus money for this, especially plus 140 for him to hit the 3 threes, I think that's a good bet on what I project to be 6 to 7 3-point attempts for him in this game. All right, don't forget, if you do want to jump into the VIP, you can get a free month just by signing up for any of the sports books that are listed in the description of the video here. And then go ahead and send me a screenshot showing me that you signed up for those books using that code LYB, and I'll get you that free month in the Discord. You can hit me up at JLBoogie on Twitter or Discord. Just send me that screenshot. Let me know that you signed up for one of those sports books using the code LYB, and we'll get you in there so you don't miss any of the plays I've got for the rest of this postseason. So best of luck here on Tuesday night. Until I see y'all next, happy betting.